So Jan Ullrich Jan Ullrich admitting he used performance enhancing drugs. While I'm showing this cash here, money, man, money makes the world spin, okay? Money, pussy, and power. And so if you're a professional cyclist, I've been saying this for like last 25 years. I remember Lance Armstrong won his first Tour de France. I'm like, he on the hot sauce. No one's beaten Pantani as a natty. Pantani's on the hot sauce. You want to beat Pantani, you got to get on the gear. Same with Bjarne Riis, you know, like, if you want to beat Bjarne Riis in the Tour de France, you got to get on the gear. If you want to beat Jan Ullrich on the Tour de France, you got to get on the gear. That's just how it is. If you want to cope at the top, you must dope. If you don't dope, you won't cope at the top tier of any sport. Cycling, running, swimming, athletics, basketball, rugby, football, soccer. Performance enhancing drugs increases your income, okay? If you have talent, if you have opportunity to be a professional athlete and you take PEDs, you will make a lot more money. And if you get busted, you will lose contracts. But you get, here's the thing. Here you go, sir. You get to keep all your money. Here you go. You get to keep all that. Okay, all the money you earn from doping and winning, you get to keep. So it's like robbing a bank with no consequences. You go in there, you rob the bank and say, hey, you know, please give me all the money. And they go, no worries, here's the bank. You know, this is just a toy water pistol gun, no worries. And they give you the money, and then the police catch you and say, hey, naughty boy, you can't rob banks anymore. You can keep the money though. Go home now, go home. So if you're a professional athlete, let's say you're Jan Ullrich, and you're this super talented kid, East Germany, you know, Berlin Wall, all that stuff, you know, opportunities minimal, and you got talent, all right? You got talent on the bike. You're born with good lung function, good VO2 max. You just love suffering. You love the cycling culture. You know, maybe your dad or someone gets you into it. You love it. And you get this satisfaction. You get status. You get significance. You get certainty. You get adventure. You get all this stuff, and then you get to a certain level, and you go to do your first race in Italy or wherever, and you go, fuck, I got smoked, man. I'm the best in my hometown. I went to Italy and I got fucking smoked. And then the doctors of the team, your amateur team you're riding for, say, well, you're a bit anemic. And you're like, what the fuck does anemia mean? I don't know shit about my body. I just eat and go. And like, well, your red blood cells are low. And if you had high red blood cells, you could probably win the Tour de France. And you laugh yourself. You go, me win the Tour de France? What are you on about? And they're like, yeah, you can, because look at your lab results. Your VO2 max is good, but then when you train a lot, you get anemic. So the VO2 max doesn't mean shit then, you know? But if we give you the red blood cell boosters, some DECA, some testosterone, some erythropoietin, all these things, we can give you a little cocktail. Not too much, it's safe, okay? You'll be taking less drugs than Greg Doucet takes for breakfast, but it can turn you into a Tour de France multi-millionaire. What do you say? Boom, what do you say? And so then that happens. And then you live this sort of semi-lie because everyone else in the top's on the gear as well. So you're like, well, I'm not cheating because the other 100, 200 guys in the peloton also taking juice. And the guys going for GC are taking juice. So it ain't cheating because everyone's in the same fucking boat. So you rationalize it that way. But then the general public, they're like, well, drugs are bad. And you know, you have all NPCs out there saying shit. And then your career happens, and then eventually maybe you do get busted, you get unlucky and you do get caught. You keep all your money, but the social narrative against you has changed from positive now to negative. Before you got constant praise, you're the child, you're the wunderkind, etc. But now you're this drug cheat, you're this dirty person, and then you don't know how to deal with the hate because all you've ever gotten from the public is mad approval, so much approval that people shaking your hand, asking for a selfie or whatever in every restaurant you go to, and now all of a sudden people are jeering at you, sneering at you, maybe kissing or spitting or hissing at you. They're going from kissing to hissing when they see your face. And then you get some PTSD from that, and then you start to reach for drugs to numb that emotional reality because you don't want to process it properly. And then you do some fad diets like Jan was famous for, cutting out carbs to lose weight. And all that does is create mad binges. Binges on alcohol, binges on donuts, and you get fat and liver toxic from all the fat and the alcohol you're consuming. And then your performance suffers, and then you yo-yo, and then you're starting to spiral down. And then the wife you married at your peak of your fame sees you now as a beta, takes the kids away, and now you feel even more beta, and then you spiral more into drugs and cocaine and whiskey and hookers and all sorts of stuff to try and feel some goodness, you know. And then Lance Armstrong reaches out to you, gives you a lifeline, boom, back to the good life. So that's fantastic. So one of the best things Lance ever did was give Jan a bit of a helping hand there, a bit of a shout out there. So that's good. Yeah. But anyway, that's just a story of how it goes into a slippery slope. You got this wunderkind. People can go, I can make money off that kid. Give him drugs, give him a contract, brings my sponsors over, I get a cut. These sponsors are just, they're thinking profits, man. When they see these talented girls and boys out there, They're thinking, money, 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 money. Professional sport is just aggressive exercise funded by money to make more money, okay? That's professional sport. Basketball, swimming, athletics, cycling, all those sports making the coin, right? Do you think Cannondale and Specialized would be as the billion-dollar companies they are and the profits they've made over the last 2 decades if they sponsored only clean riders? Think of Specialized, Tom Boonen, the Schleck Bros, Contador, Gerolsteiner team, Festina team, all right? Specialized got big because of performance-enhancing drugs used by the athletes they sponsored to win big races. Cannondale, Cipollini, Casagrande, Seiko team, Cadell Evans, etc., all right? Do you think Cannondale will be as big as it is today without EPO, testosterone, Deca, prednisone, Kennicort, Dexies, etc.? It wouldn't be, okay? Just how it is, man. So that's just the deal. Lance Armstrong, Jan Ullrich, champions of the sport, legends of the sport. And you can say whatever you want to say about them, but they made cycling bigger and better and more public, and people rode their bikes to work. The environment is better because of the air quality is better because Lance Armstrong pinned himself with EPO. Oh, she's subcutaneous there, or maybe intravenous. So because Lance did this, we had a positive effect in the world. All right. If Lance didn't do this, where would cycling be today? We wouldn't have such amazing bike quality. Shimano wouldn't have produced some of the best group sets ever in the 7800 lineup. So Lance Armstrong and Jan Ullrich and the EPO, the Amgen, 1983 is when synthetic EPO was first available in the lab level. A Taiwanese staff member, a lab guy who worked for Amgen, 1983 discovered it and got it rolling. We can have a product. 1984, the licenses went out. It was on the shelf. You could get it. So athletes were using EPO from 1984 onwards. So anyone who says Greg LeMond is the only American who won the Tour de France because he's clean, then I would say, in my opinion, Greg would have been the first winner of the Tour de France to use EPO, because there's no fucking way in the world you're beating, Bernard Hinault, you're beating, the who's who, Lauren, Fignon. There's no way you're beating those Euro juices, hot sauces as a natty. There's no fucking way you're doing that. Because when you train that hard, when you race that hard, your natural hemoglobin levels go down. You get anemic, you get testosterone deficient. And when you're testosterone deficient, you can't produce enough red blood cells. Okay. So anyway, that's the name of the game. But very interesting times. I would love to know, the exact dosages used. And they're pretty small. They're pretty small compared to like Greg Douchet and Nicole on social media today. So, and it's not here to shame anyone, big or low dosages. I just love understanding the pharmacology, the pharmacokinetics, and the dosages and stuff like that. It's not, and often people lie about dosages. Oh my God, you took a gram of test a week and you're that small. Oh my God. So people say, I'm just on TRT. All right, no. TRT makes you look like a cyclist. If you're a cyclist, a lean cyclist, like 60 kilos, 6 foot tall, and you take TRT, you're probably going to go to 62, 63 kilos. You're still going to look like a lean cyclist. All right? It's not going to make you staunch and swole. So these people who do these transformations, they're taking more than TRT. All right? Greg's taking more than TRT. Okay, TRT for breakfast. Anyway, that's the deal. But yeah, so it's great out there, But again, what will the German public now think of Jan Ullrich now? He's said, hey, And people say, well, he should have come out ages ago. No, because when you come out ages ago, there's so many people in cycling that you affect. It's not just say, okay, I'll use drugs. This person you can't do that. All right. Once you dope, you enter the world of the omerta, okay, and to spit in the soup. You can't do that, all right? If you do own up to something, then you can't name anyone. That's what Lance did, Lance was very tight with that. He kept the rule of the street. You don't snitch on people who helped you out. That's just the deal. And yeah, anyway, so Jan Ullrich, boom, if you're watching, mate, thanks for the good memories. Keep it up, stay healthy. Jan, do my protocols. Imagine if Jan Ullrich did my protocols, he would be as lean as he was when he was 20, all right? He would be fucking ripped and in that cycling Tour de France winning shape. Guaranteed. If Jan Ullrich did my protocols, I'm 46, he would be a fucking monster on the bike still. He's got that motor, okay? Cocaine, whiskey, fuck it off, all right? Do my protocols. And yeah, it'd be great to see Leanne lean and living life as he is capable of doing. But yeah, cycling, man. 2003 Tour de France, the time trial last day. What a memory. I was there in France watching that on the TV in some hotel room in Paris there, watching it. It was a wet day. Good memories, man. But yeah, the Lance Armstrong, Jan Ullrich battles. Even non-cyclists can appreciate that shit. That got so many people into cycling, so many people riding their bike to work. The bikes back then, incredible. Still really, really good. Better than the latest bikes today. That's another topic. So anyway, to recap, in a banana skin, all champions of sport, dope. It's big money. You have big pressure. You cannot be a natural athlete and be the world's best tennis player. If you think Nadal and Michael Phelps and Michael Jordan didn't or don't use PEDs to recover from injuries faster or to stay at a certain level a bit longer, you know, we don't do the French Open, the Australian Open, we want to do the Wimbledon, blah, 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 blah. You know, oh, I can do one of those maybe, Natty, but all three in a season, damn, I'm going to break down. Okay, well, here, Doc, what do I take? You know, we'll just give you some Deca, let's give you some tests, let's give you some GH, let's give you some this. You know, I've got anemia, I've had bronchitis, let's give you some EPO, you'll be bouncing back next week. You know, like, it's fucking money, man, all right? It's money world, okay? What if you go to your work, at your work and say, hey, boss, I've got a headache, I'm going to go home, and like, what the fuck? Like, no, take a Panadol, take some drugs. I'm tired, boss. Have a fucking coffee, take some modafinil. Get back to it, mate. Get back to it. We're going to make money here. And it's the same shit. You got people on the keyboard full of caffeine and modafinil or whatever. Yeah, no, it's a drug cheat. Dude, you're typing that at work on work time, and you're full of drugs typing that. Calm down, you hypocrite. So I don't care if pro sport people take drugs, because we watch pro sport for entertainment, don't we? All right? They're not trying to sell us some bike saying, hey, buy my Cannondale, you ride as fast as me. I mean, that's part of the marketing spiel, but they're not like these fake natty influencers like Greg Doucet blasting, or not blasting, but using Trend Still and Deca and Tess. And I use Greg because he's like a, you know, viral one now, and he represents that fake natty industry where they sell supplements to kids, Turkestrone, all this bullshit stuff, and claiming that, you know, you can get swollen, look like me, and just, you know, you know, so that's a scam. Pro sports is not a scam. Okay, I would say if anything, the athletes sort of get scammed in a way, because when they get if they get busted, there's just we cut ties. Sponsors cut ties. Cannondale, Nike, Oakley, Trek, Shimano, we cut ties. We cut ties. Even though Lance and Jan, etc., made all the money for them. Oh, we're cutting ties now. Cutting ties. Like, fuck off, you corporate fucking cutthroat vultures. Actually, that's a bad thing for vultures. Scumbags. But anyway, so Lance Armstrong, Jan Ullrich, boom. Go watch the videos. It's a shame they weren't racing today, because the footage back then is a bit grainy. But you can still feel the emotion in Phil Liggett's voice, Tom Alaris' voice, Paul Sherwin's voice, or whatever voice you're listening in, the commentator there. 20 years ago, greatest time ever in cycling, and yeah. Anyway, boom. Jan Ullrich, mate, you did a great job. Keep going.